this episode of Incredible Vacation Videos, you'll never imagine the shenanigans that ensue when a family goes on vacation and their pig gets loose and goes on a 3-day rampage.
Not quite so simple to catch that pig.
As if skydiving and bungee jumping weren't thrilling enough, a couple of daredevils combine the two. But the thrills turn to chills when something goes horribly wrong.
As the bungees unfurled, I fell past them for probably 3 or 4 seconds and deployed my canopy. And as I looked up to check my canopy, that was when I saw Greg falling by, and I thought, Greg's a dead man.
A family of 5 packs in the rat race and takes a year-long vacation. That's right, they sold their house, quit their job, took their 3 kids out of school, and set out to go around the world.
Each person on the trip had a backpack and a pull-along suitcase. So we were mobile. Everything else we either threw away, gave away, or put in storage or sold.
This and plenty more exciting stories to come, all on Incredible Vacation Videos. Sometimes incredible vacation videos happen to the people the vacationers leave behind. Like in this case, when a family from Bessemer City, South Carolina thought they'd take a short holiday at the beach. But just a few hours after they left, one of the pigs from their farm decided to take a little day trip of his own. This little piggy went to town and to visit the neighbors, and to hide in some bushes, and to evade, confound, and frustrate the authorities as long as possible. Soon, the fugitive pig had all sorts of people involved in his hogwash. He turned the town upside down, leaving a shambles wherever he went.
They had dug up all the flowers, rocks would be in the pond, plus the dirt.
Here, Porky.
For 3 long days, the pig was on the run, and authorities had no way of reaching his vacationing owners.
Did he head back this way?
Finally, one animal control officer was determined to catch the slippery swine. But this pig was smart. He used a vicious dog for cover, diverted his captor's attention, and made another quick getaway.
Not quite so simple to catch that pig.
He leaped off a brick wall, took a nosedive, and kept on trucking. By now, the neighbors had had enough of this little pink fugitive.
Well, it's funny now, but over the weekend it wasn't. The damage that the pig was doing, it was really disheartening.
At long last, the escapade came to an end when the pig was trapped in a large fishing net.
Got your handcuffs? Yeah.
Well, you gave us a good old chase, girl.
He seemed fit to be hogtied by this humiliation. Soon he was carted off in a waiting vehicle.
That one had a lot of spunk in it.
When the pig's owners returned from their vacation, they were asked to come down to animal control and bring home their bacon. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a flaming meteorite from outer space. That's right, it really is a flaming meteorite from outer space. It was captured on video one October night when Tom Reinheimer was on a trip to Pittsburgh. He was scanning the night sky from a viewpoint overlooking the downtown area. He could see a night baseball game going on at the local stadium and the blimp slowly cruising by. then he saw something far more amazing. The fireball was a piece of cosmic space debris burning up as it entered the atmosphere. The awesome sight could be seen in 8 different states spanning the eastern United States. No one knows how large the space rock was originally, but a 20-pound remnant crashed into the ground in Peekskill, New York, where it demolished a parked car. Since fireballs of this size are extremely rare, Tom Reinheimer got himself a real Millennium Vacation video. Greg Jones and his friend Mike McGee developed special rigging that would allow them to bungee jump while skydiving. They called this innovation parabungee.
4,000 feet, you let go.
Greg and Mike would hurl themselves out of an airplane attached by a 100-foot bungee cord. Mike unfurled his parachute first, stretching the cord between them. After a few moments of bungee fun, Greg released the cord and opened his chute to land. A third friend, Tim McMahon, got it all on video via his helmet cam. The trio made a few conservative jumps and all went well. Then they felt it was time to up the ante.
They were anxious to try this stunt at a higher rate of speed, and so there was a little bit of anticipation, and we weren't real sure how it was going to go.
Instead of Mike opening his parachute immediately, Greg and Mike would free fall until they reached terminal velocity, which is about 120 miles per hour. But something was about to go drastically wrong.
Tim had gotten himself into position, and Mike and I each looked at him, and we'd kind of given a signal that we're here at terminal. Let's do this. So Mike had deployed, and the bungee started just whipping out really fast.
And as I looked up to check my canopy, that was when I saw Greg falling by, and I thought, Greg's a dead man.
The bungee had snapped, slamming him in the head and sending Greg into a free fall.
At that point, I just watched him go down, and he fell for probably a mile, and then he opened his parachute. At that point, I thought, well, I'm going to spiral my canopy down, catch up to him, and see if he's all right. When I got next to him, I was yelling at him, and he wasn't responding.
Greg, are you okay?
In a maneuver that drew on every bit of his courage and skill, Tim hooked his feet into Greg's shoulder straps so that he could guide him down with his own parachute.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Oh, my back hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you move your legs okay?
Huh?
Can you move your legs?
Yeah.
I'd vaguely become aware of Tim being around somewhere. I could hear him saying something, and that's pretty much all I remember of the aerial rescue.
He had totally passed out, and he was hanging limp, and at that point, I didn't know if it'd be better to let him go or bring him in, because when two canopies come in, there's a higher rate of descent, and you typically land harder. But I didn't think letting him go would be the right thing to do, because who knows where he would have went. Could have went into power lines or a river or a lake. So I brought him in, and we landed together.
Greg was lucky to be alive with only a minor concussion and cuts and bruises. He and Mike had failed to reckon with the extreme physics of terminal velocity, forces which snapped the heavy bungee in two. Fortunately for Greg, Tim had the special skydiving experience to save his life.
I was in was apparently headed towards some radio antennas, so had he not docked up with me and brought me back, I would certainly have been killed hitting into the radio antennas. So I'm very lucky he was with us.
What's so incredible about this vacation video? It's just another dad horsing around with his kid in beautiful Hawaii. Well, it was pretty incredible indeed to the insurance company, forced to shell out thousands of dollars in workman's comp for his alleged back injury. Private investigator Ted Kerner caught it all with his camcorder.
I immediately, upon his arrival to Hawaii, observed him to be not as restricted as I might have expected. He was carrying heavy luggage, running, repeatedly lifting the luggage in and out of rental cars, laughing, smiling, happy, shaking hands, doing high fives with his friends.
And that was just the beginning of his action-packed vacation.
This was consistently his behavior, from snorkeling long distances in the ocean to jumping off the rocks to lifting his child up onto his shoulders and walking around, doing backward somersaults up the beach, walking long distances in deep sand, running in deep sand, playing for hours and hours and hours at the beach. And I never saw the slightest indication of any pain, much less pain that would require a person to retire.
No excruciatingly painful back injury could seem to slow this guy down. But when he got home, the beach bum got a big surprise. A private viewing of his very own personal vacation video.
He sat for 1 full minute, turned several shades of gray, got up and walked out without saying another word.
And the taxpayers were saved from paying this freeloader to frolic in the surf at their expense. Millions of vacationers journey to national parks like Yosemite and Yellowstone, hoping to catch a glimpse of a real live bear. But the tourists who owned this car were less than thrilled when park rangers showed them this video of a huge brown bear breaking in. Park rangers were patrolling the area because of reports that brazen bears were burglarizing campsites. And in this case, the rangers came right upon the scene of the crime. A 700-pound bear had smashed in a car window and hopped right in to help himself to one family's leftover goodies. Because no one wanted to be the one to tell the furry beast that he was breaking the law, the rangers could only watch as the bear leisurely dined on potato chips and a loaf of bread. Bear break-ins have become an increasingly bigger problem in the national parks, with up to 3 such break-ins every night. Just like humans, bears seem to love junk food, and they'll do anything to get it. Picnic over, the bear moved on, and a few sleeping campers awoke to find one heck of a mess for the car ride home.
There's going to be a commission.
Okay, $1 commission.
When David Cohen of Mill Valley, California hit 40, he decided to take his family on a year-long vacation to escape the day-to-day grind.
I decided that the only way to really purify our lives was to get rid of everything, to get rid of the house, get rid of the cars, all the furniture, and the only problem then, of course, was to tell my wife about that.
Okay, Cara, your turn. You roll for us? Well, when David told me his idea about taking time off and traveling for a year, we sat down and made some big decisions, and before we knew it, we were on the road.
With their house and belongings gone, David and Deviani pulled their 3 kids, 8-year-old Kara, 7-year-old Willie, and 2-year-old Lucas, out of school and set off on a 50,000-mile odyssey which would span 15 countries in Central America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia.
Each person on the trip had a backpack and a pull-along suitcase, so we were mobile. Everything else we either threw away, gave away, or put in storage or sold.
Oh boy, we're on a really bumpy road.
The family started the trip in Costa Rica, taking in rainforests,
It must be poisonous.
wildlife,
And some marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah.
and volcanoes.
Des chalets, c'est l'œil des collègues.
For the next 13 months, the family would eat together,
Daddy, I don't like tomatoes.
sleep together,
Pretty small.
and basically spend 24 hours a day together.
Traveling around the world with 3 small children was harder than I imagined. Somebody once said that there are 2 classes of travel, first class and travel with children. And, you know, I just wasn't used to all that.
I think we've seen the Mona Lisa now.
I'm ready to do the river. For the mother, it really was easier because at home you have the 3 young kids and you also have the laundry and the dishes and the meals and the shopping and school and appointments. And on the road, you're eating in restaurants, you're staying in hotels, people are taking care of all those details for you, and so you just get to enjoy your kids.
They also discovered something about young kids' interests as they worked their way through Europe.
We took the kids to churches and museums through Europe, and at least at first flush, they couldn't have cared less.
Wait, what do you think of all this?
But when we went places that involved anything to do with animals, that's what they could relate to.
Look, a monkey.
Even a few years later, the kids have not forgotten some deep impressions.
I like going on safari with all the animals. Right there, there's another one. I remember the hippos. My favorite place was Botswana because they had a lot of really great animals. Whoa.
David took over 17 hours of home video of the experience. He captured their transition from life in the suburbs to a nomadic life on the road.
We are at the Pushkar Camel Fair. There are more than 50,000 camels here.
At first, when you leave your home,
Beautiful.
there's a sense of liberation.
We're here in Paris. Where are we? Paris. Thank you. We're here in Paris, which, as most of you don't know, is in the country of France. Thank you. Europe.
You don't have all this stuff to take care of. You don't have to deal with a mortgage payment. You don't have to deal with all the repairs that need to be done. But there's also a feeling that you get of disorientation. When you don't have any one place to go home at night that you can call your home.
We are sleeping in tents.
But then as we traveled along, each night we'd go to a different hotel room, and that became home. And where we were and where the family was, that was home.
This is going to be fun.
The kids were exposed to truly unique experiences as their travels continued to exotic countries like India.
What do you think of that, Will?
Cambodia, Laos, and Australia.
We finally made it to Sydney after 7 months.
It was a great bonding experience. It's sort of like a company of men who have been through the war together.
Beatrice has locked herself out of the house.
And that gave the kids a family identity. In the neighborhood, we're sort of like the crazy family who went around the world together.
Our children, at the end of the trip, fought much less with each other. They learned to depend on each other.
Dave, you still manning the bow rope.
David and I, our relationship also evolved and probably deepened.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, and forever peace with a wave.
You know, nowadays in America, people think that the world revolves around America, but there's a whole other world out there. And my kids have seen that world. And I think that's going to give them a broader sense of the world.
I think we're going to take a pass on the circumcision ritual.
When the trip was over, the Cohens settled into a new home back in California. But the vacation is anything but forgotten. David shared their experience in a book he later wrote called 1 Year Off.
Max, this is just like the real thing. He's more interested in the chipmunks than the Grand Canyon.
And the kids relive their adventure from pictures and home videos.
It was very important for us to have a video. It was crucial for writing the book. It was also very important for the kids to help them remember the trip, and I consider it a very valuable archive to have, and I know we're going to pull that out and look at it for years to come.
That's all we've got, folks. Until next time. As we track the grand adventures of rowdy critters on the loose, when we explore mysteries of the cosmos, and when we portray skydiving daredevils pushing the envelope of fun, we'll keep showing you the amazing, the amusing, and the just plain astonishing here on Incredible Vacation Videos.
Why is truth stranger than fiction? Travel deep inside our curious world. Coming up next on the Travel Channel. In England, you can stay where Henry VIII used to live, and his bride Catherine still does. A haunted room costs $30. Catherine stays for free. Travel Channel Secrets, Monday and Tuesday nights at 9.